104, 49.03 from Beau Williams in the T35 Bugatti.
Brings us to Class 9, sponsored by Longstone Classic tyres, without whom a lot of these cars wouldn't be able to run.
On the hill 110.
That's the Bentley 4.25 litre Bentley of Bob Burrell, and also the Hillegas sprint car, classic American sprint car.
Yes, built by Hiram Hillegas. Only in America, ladies and gentlemen.
It was a very dangerous form of racing on sort of mud, dirt tracks. This is a bit of a contrast. After 20 or so years, we see the Alvis Giron out again in the hands of Rod Jolly, with its immaculate aluminium bodywork.
He'll have made,
which as Marcus says, Rod Jolly,
with his bare hands, just beautiful.
Specialist in producing immaculate aluminium work.
Giron hasn't run for, say, 2 decades, and Rod, who's already raced in Australia this year at Phillip Island with his Lister Jag single-seater and his Cooper, thoroughly enjoying a return to competition with this car. I saw back in the 80s, when he's got it on the grass towards the finish, and as a result trickles through the finish. But you know, even with that error at the top, he's quickest 50.63 seconds, so he's going to go sub 50 for sure.
The Manasco Pirate is having an adventurous run. I don't know if he'll be red flag because there was a bollard in the middle of the track, but this will be a rapid climb. Yep. Robin Toulouse in the
Dr. Robin Toulouse.
It's got an American Manasco aircraft engine.
It's
and
a
as you can
wild
see,
run. Another bollard.
Collected a bollard to take to the top of the hill.
14. 46.02 for the German.
Here's the
Robin Toulouse.
Here's the Mark Walker in the Thunderbug. It isn't Huey, it's Mark. With this amazing 2-cylinder engine, 4 litres. They're 2 of the 7 cylinders out of a radial aircraft engine. So with the valve gear, radial engine valve gear hammering away, so masses of power, and this was one of the stars of the Edwardian race at Goodwood earlier in the year. Wow, it's all go.
So Mark Walker 115, 50.61. Robin Toulouse quickest, 46.02 in the Riley Manasco Pirate. Then it's Mark Walker second in the Thunderbug.
Here's Cecil Schumacher in the single-seater Talbot Special, which was initially made for a gentleman who asked to have a copy of the Silver Arrows, and they made this car for him. It was much longer, much too long, and so after a crash or two, the wheelbase was shortened, and Schumacher's raced this car for a number of years. But if you're near the start line, prepare for plenty of smoke, because Chris Williams is on the line with the Napier-powered Bentley with its W12 engine, 3 banks of 4 cylinders, 24 litres, aircraft engine. And Chris is making smoke, laying a screen. He does this deliberately, not just for show, but to ease the strain on the transmission. Chris has raced this car, raced this car in vintage racing for many years, and he's also brought Mavis here for a demonstration, and Mavis will tell you all about during the lunchtime demos. But if you think Napier Lion is big, wait till you see Mavis. He's a favourite customer of the Blockley Tyre Company. But off the line, have a look at page 45. I'm sure you've got a program for GN Parker, nicely described on page 45. Oversteering moment into the chicane. Justin Mears in this 6.2 litre car powered by an aircraft engine, Cirrus Hermes engine. So plenty of power in this lightweight little GN. We'll try and pick up the time for Justin. Nearing the top of the climb. Should be quick. Over the line, Marcus will tell us the time. I think we can pick it up, but in the meantime...
44.57 is the time of Justin Mears. That's top. Knocking Robin Toulou's time out of the water.
This should be quick as well. Julian Grimwade in the Norris Special, which is a Fraser Nash with a big Alvis 3.5 litre engine, often beat the ERAs at Chelsea Walsh. Julian finishes his climb, and here's Annie Scaldwell in the incredible wooden chassis GN with its 1908, I repeat that, 1908 Jap V8 airship engine, which is so light that Richard can pretty much lift it off the bench unaided.
Car will do 100 miles an hour and is used on the road sometimes. Amazing piece of equipment. I've seen them drive it to and from meetings.
Well, Annie drove it here.
And spun it yesterday.
Yeah, she did, but she chose the right place to spin. We've got another famous hill climb car doing a demo. This is out of the National Motor Museum. This is John Bolster's Bloody Mary, which John concocted. It had all sorts of engines. At one time it had 4 motorcycle engines, but he put up astonishing times at Chesley. There's a lovely, well, not lovely, there's a film of him tipping it up at the bottom S at Chesley, emerging unscathed. Not much room for the driver's right arm, and luckily it's got a mudguard to stop it being chewed up by the rear right wheel.
John Bolster, who was thrown out of ERA R5B Remus at Silverstone in 1949, recruited by Gregor Grant for his new Motorsport magazine, and was the technical editor for many, many years until his death in those early 90s. And he gives his name to the trophy that's given every year for innovation, and one of the first winners of that trophy was David Gould, the hill climb master designer.
You don't often see a land speed record car in action, but this is the Delage that broke the land speed record in 1924 at 143 miles an hour at Arpajon in France on a main road, but it was a dusty, narrow main road. And this car won the Edwardian race at the members' meeting at Goodwood in March. But a Brit called George Eldridge in Fiat Mephistopheles re-broke the record the same weekend, and having done it, he immediately drove Mephistopheles to Paris and parked it outside the Delage showrooms in the Champs-Élysées, which is sort of cocking a snoot.